In the beginning there were only two, Cain and Abel, sons of Adam and Eve. The dawn of time saw the birth of humanity's first offspring, two brothers vastly different, yet bound by the same blood. Cain, the elder, was a sturdy tiller of the ground, his hands hardened by the relentless earth. Abel, the younger, was a shepherd, his heart as gentle as the flocks he tended. Despite their differences, a bond existed between them, forged from the first days of existence. They grew under the watchful eyes of their parents, learning about the world and their place in it. Cain, the dependable one, was always reliable, his strength a rock to cling to in times of hardship. Abel, the compassionate one, had an ease about him, a softness that calmed the chaos of the world. Yet, their bond was more than brotherhood. As the first sons of the first humans, they were bound by blood. But as we'd soon discover, blood can be a dangerous thing. Both brothers, in their devotion, decided to present an offering to their Creator. Now Cain, being a tiller of the ground, brought forth the fruits of his labor, the bounty of the soil. Abel, on the other hand, a shepherd by trade, offered up his best sheep, a true testament to his dedication and his faith. The brothers' offerings were as different as their vocations, reflecting their individuality and their unique relationships with the world around them. Yet it was Abel's sacrifice that found favor in the eyes of God. His offering, a symbol of his unyielding faith and commitment, was deemed more worthy than Cain's. This divine preference sparked the first flicker of jealousy in Cain's heart. His offering, the fruits of his hard work, was overlooked, casting a shadow of resentment that began to darken his soul. A simple sacrifice, a divine preference, and thus began a tale of jealousy and rage. Consumed by jealousy, Cain invited Abel to the fields. So it was in the lush and verdant expanse that a simple invitation masked a dark intent. You see, Cain, the firstborn of Adam and Eve, was overwhelmed by a tempest of envy and resentment. His heart, once a vessel of brotherly love, had become a crucible of anger and spite. In the solitude of the fields, away from the watchful eyes of their parents, the brothers stood. Here, Cain, driven by his festering jealousy, did the unthinkable. In a monstrous act that would forever taint the annals of human history, he struck down his brother Abel. The ground, once fertile and welcoming, received Abel's lifeblood, marking the first time it had been sullied by such violence. This tragic event, the first murder, was not just an act of violence, but a betrayal of trust, a violation of familial bonds. In a moment of fury, the world's first act of fratricide was committed. The deed was done, and Cain was left alone with his guilt. His brother's life had been extinguished by his own hand, and the world seemed to hold its breath in the wake of the first murder. God's punishment for Cain was severe, a life sentence of wandering and isolation, a mark that would forever distinguish him as the first fratricide. His legacy, a chilling tale passed down through generations, was a grim reminder of the destructive power of jealousy. It painted a vivid picture of the dire consequences born from letting such a dark emotion consume one's heart. The story of Cain and Abel, with its profound moral implications, resonates even today, echoing through the annals of history. It is a stark testament to the human capacity for jealousy and violence, a stern warning about the importance of controlling our negative emotions, and a sobering lesson on the consequences of failing to do so. Cain's story serves as a stark reminder of the destructive power of jealousy and the dire consequences of letting it consume us.